in any other league, many of these teams will be vying for the title. When you're in the LPL, you have to look at the teams which have figured out the macro and figured out the meta of which they're playing in. And a team like Top Esports, while they may have been on paper one of our best teams coming into this year, they have to prove a lot to us. We're going into these bans. Yuumi, Millie are both banned by Top Esports. I wonder whether FPX actually look towards banning something like the Lucian as one of our primary bot lanes left. Zyra Khan also left on the table outside of those Enchanter-heavy bot lanes.
Might be bot lane heavy meta, but again, things that are getting let through, the Annie, even something for a rookie, the Ahri is very, very powerful. Things like the Wukong and the Vi have slipped through, so we're going to see a lot of powerful mid-jungle duos, possibly a Vi Wukong between the two junglers and an Ahri and an Annie between the two mid laners. That's my expectation coming into this now that we've seen the first 6 bans.
Yeah, completely agree. It just gives you the go buttons to play around the early game, which is very, very important. A team like Top Esports, their one-item spike was very impressive around the spring season, even when they had their own troubles. Playing around something like this Vi and the Ahri, as you mentioned, very, very strong. Now, on the other side, you're expecting really to have that Ahri be taken away. Allowing the Vi-Ahri combination is not really something any team is allowing right now. But instead, they say, we're going to relieve and care to hold Rookie in lane, hold him into that laning phase so he can't combo up with Tian. But that is a risky gambit to play.
A very, very risky gambit. We want to see now Top Esports maybe want to go for the Xayah themselves, or perhaps knowing the Rakan is picked up, kind of maybe pick up something a little bit more, I was going to say safer. Zeri is still very much on the board here. Zeri Lulu knowing that there's not going to be a Blitzcrank or a Nautilus on the other side makes that Lulu pick a far more interesting kind of setup. But again, it would mean that the Annie does get a couple more priority bans being thrown into her and into Rookie. So we imagine things like the Ahri and possibly even the Lissandra kind of taken away here from Rookie, but possibly the Syndra as well. A couple of different things there. But yep, the FPX lovers duo, the Phoenixes will fly with themselves the 2 birds in the bot lane. And LWX and Chocho, that is a powerful combination. The extra stats you get from those two being in the bot lane isn't something to be sneezed at.
For sure. I mean, we have 2 of our remaining premier bot lanes on the table for both sides. Do wonder really if we should have, on the side of Top Esports, probably could have picked up that Ahri themselves, but choosing to let that one go through and it's immediately banned. Rookie does, of course, have one of our larger champion pools in the LPL. He'll always have another pick to go towards, but not having the premier mid-jungle combo as opposed to the bot lane duo, which Top Esports opted into.
Again, Wukong going to be banned away here. You can imagine maybe even the Viego coming out here. We always see that the Viego and the Annie is a combination that is just so high in burst with those ultimates being dropped down on top of you. Well, let's see what they want to kind of go for here. Actually, the little Blanc being banned away here from Rookie. So a nice little bit of respect here onto Rookie.
We saw Knight play this into the Annie matchup and do well at it. And of course, Rookie and Knight, both of our very elite mid laners in the LPL. We have a lot of elite mid laners. And Kerr has had a pretty good year himself. So you know, we're not really spoiled for choice. Well, rather, we are absolutely spoiled for choice in our mid lane player pool.
I was gonna say, it's like it's always a conversation we have. It's like, oh wow, Cryan played so well, and yeah, he really did. And Cryan is on a mid-table team. It's like normally we'd be hyping him up and to no end, but when you're in a league with Xiaohu, Rookie, Knight, Scout, Yagao, like it's like I'm going through the list. Like it's just insane to me. To unfortunately, it's like you got to be even better than better, like or better than good. You got to be great, and even then, there's still a question mark about whether or not you're going to be able to kind of come out on top of that. But we'll bring ourselves back into this particular one. We'll see what Care can be into this matchup. There, he's going to have potentially the Syndra to deal with. I'm surprised to see that wasn't banned away, especially with the Rakan coming in. You get that good scatter of the week to kind of disengage people away from the fight. But on the other side of this, Bonnie going to be starting off with the Kazakhs here into that jungle position. And it's actually interesting with the Kazakhs because it's actually more of a poke champion in the late game than it is a straight-up burst.
That is not the important thing about the Kazakhs in this composition, because what it does is it blots out vision on the map. You have Annie for engage, Rakan for engage. I'm imagining we're going to get something like an Ornn or an engage champion from top lane as well, just call it a Scion or whatever. If you pick an immobile mid laner, you're going to get Umbral Kazakhs removing any safe place for you to farm on the map. You're going to have people flying out of Fog of War. This has been a very LPL special thing. Umbral Glaive, Edge of Night. You don't get to pick them off because they're going to be unkillable when they're clearing out your wards. They just jump away from you. FPX picking the flavor of the month LPL composition.
Well, flavor of the month, as you say. We'll see if that changes as we move
the flavor of
ourselves
the
into
month is
this game.
fear from Kha'Zix.
It is. I was gonna say it's fear from everybody. Fear tastes good in the arms of Bonnie and FPX, but Top Esports do round out their composition there with a little bit of discipline gauge and a tank to kind of go in as well with Wayward picking up the Gragas. Curious to see if he will go full tank or full AP. Curious to see your opinion. We've seen a kind of a half and half between the two of the builds there. And what do you think is the defining difference between when a player goes tank Gragas versus when he goes full AP? It's hard.
It's a good question. It's a hard question.
Today.
I think because I think it kind of reminds me of the Maokai discussion between AP and tank, because I think if you are the only tank on your team, you're not a good enough solo tank. So a lot of the time, someone like a Maokai or a Gragas will go in and try and be a frontline, and because there's no one else doing, like, sharing the tank duty, you feel a little bit awkward about it. So I think when you have limited frontline, awkwardly, you almost want to go AP, so at least you can stand back and add into the barrage that the rest of your team can go towards. When you have another tank jungler or something like that, at least you can play double tank duty. That's when I see the tank duty being a little bit more valuable.
We'll have to wait and see who gets the most value out of whichever champions they picked. We are locked and loaded for this game number 1 of this best of 3. Top Esports coming in to try and move themselves akin to JDG at 5-1 in the standings, and FPX trying to make sure they don't fall any further down, as they are only sitting on 1 and 3. We're going to jump onto the Rift for this first game and see how both these teams fare in our first game of this series. Jesus.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
That's a battle cry.
Man. Look at him, look at him. Absolute
yeah, put the
boss,
camera on them.
job.
They got some pipes.
Yeah, he knows. He was sitting back down there, no problem whatsoever. Yeah, that was loud.
One thing that we've not talked about on cast yet, and we really need to talk about more, is that we are both massive lovers of classic rock as well. Those guys leading the chants, I would put them in front of a couple of guitars and a bass.
Absolutely. It's kind of, you know what, even the modern day rock screamo bands and stuff is like, that wasn't bad, you know? Get Lyric on there, you know, introducing him to Lyric to maybe start up an LPL screamo band, something akin to electronics over in the LEC, but that'd be kind of cool, I'm not going to lie. Cool.
I have a 7-string back home I could whip out. We can make something work about this. But what needs to work for Top Esports is a little bit of this TN pressure up with Rookie as well. I think that once Care hits level 6 and the first item comes in from Bonnie, FPX probably going to start blotting out that vision and make things very, very difficult. Before that, though, I think that TN, Rookie, and his lanes can very much do very well across this map.
And look, nothing's really going to be exciting, I imagine, for the first few minutes of this game. Might see some action between TN and Rookie, as you do have a double CC combination between the Vi and the Syndra. Very, very powerful combination in its own right. But honestly, most of the time, it is just farming up, waiting till everyone gets their level 6s, and we move back towards those big objective fights. And fortunate there for Top Esports, weren't able to clear that ward. Feel like they could have, but it's a weird one for me. I don't know how consistent or inconsistent it is. It just feels like sometimes your wards stay up long enough for people to kill them off, and then you can't kill the enemy wards. It feels weirdly
Your team's ward,
inconsistent.
enemy team's wards. Yeah.
Literally.
We've heard about that in regards to your team's Yasuo, enemy team's Yasuo. The wards are in on it too. But yes, I think mid-jungle 2v2, there is something. You can see TN's right here. The stun's very long range for the Syndra compared to the Annie, who needs to be in a bit closer range. There are some options there, and as you can see, Rookie has push, bot lane has push, top lane with the Gragas as well has the ability to push in most lanes there too, and this allows TN to go into the enemy jungle, despite the fact that Kha'Zix is normally the one invading onto the Vi.
Yeah, just able to as you mentioned, the priority mid bot. There's no one really to help out Bonnie, so getting pushed in here pretty aggressively. We'll say that does have double buffs available to the Kha'Zix, so the pathing he took is definitely a little bit easier for him to be able to defend himself. There's no camps here for the moment. He's going to jump straight in onto TN, and TN needs to respect this, honestly. Yes, you've got priority in the lanes, but like you mentioned, the Kha'Zix, the isolate damage, is still going to tear you apart.
This was the meta evolution from MSI. Everyone was playing Wukong and Vi. Turns out Kha'Zix really damaged them early. Gets both buffs to have some more combat power. TN only going to go back for his red buff right now. Mainly just keeping an eye on where Bonnie was and using those pushing lanes as we saw. It allows Top Esports lanes to push as though the jungler isn't there, because the jungler actually isn't there.
We'll wait. Shall calm ourselves down, have a bit of a moment. We're almost coming up actually quite quickly. We're 2.5 weeks into the split. By next week, we'll be halfway through the split. And actually, I looked into this a little bit. I looked into this as well because we obviously have moved. We have a very condensed schedule. We have 3 best-of-3s from Wednesday till Sunday, and then 2 best-of-3s on Mondays and Tuesdays. That doesn't last that long, and not in a good way, because come week 4, I believe, or after week 4, yes, week 5, Tuesday to Sunday will be 3 best-of-3s a day, so it's it actually gets even more condensed after a while.
Yeah,
so
I've never seen
hard.
this many 5 a.m. I've never seen 5 a.m. in the morning as much as I have for LPL. The time zones really ripping us a new one in that, but it does mean that these teams they very rarely get those days off and those half weeks off to assess what's been happening in their recent games. Building up that momentum and building on successes becomes even more important.
That's it, and again, it's something we brought up a couple of times, is that normally, stop myself before I go too far into this point, is Wayward is kind of trying to reset this wave. Has no jungler to help him out, so if Bonnie does get on top of the Gragas, might blow a flash at the bare minimum. We'll wait to see where this tank matchup goes with the addition of an assassin in the jungle, and lots of patience coming out here now. There they go, they know that the belly bop is down. Wayward gonna flash away. Just get slowed down one little bit more. We'll be able to get knocked back up. One more Q, one more auto attack. No, the resistance is too good. Couple more seconds. He trades it back, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Oh, FPX, I love the patience, but you just went too far forward, and now bot side probably going to lose out a couple of different summoners here as they try to jump onto LWX, who's so low, and Mark picks up a kill there, knowing that the jungler is top esports spring into life in the bottom lane.
That was a sick backstep from Tien. Both junglers getting on the board for their respective teams, but the damage reduction from the drunken range of Gragas makes it an even trade towards topside. So, gold in different pockets. Chocho was trying to push in this wave, might get punished for it now.
Yeah, might get punished for it as we wait to see now where they're going to go for it. Care drops in everything onto that one. There's the unleashed power. Ooh, there's the flash. But Rookie cleans it up right afterwards. Tien just making sure everything was good as Rookie getting rampaged upon by the Tippers right there. Had to respect the passive damage from a very angry bear.
That is another set of gold into the laners off top Esports. And Tien, he occasionally has games like this where he just blows open the map. Starts to also Wayward getting forced on in a 2v1. Gets rid of both the flashes from the two trying to close him down. But this right here, the heal, the damage resist, gives just enough time for the belly slam to come back off a cooldown. As he said, that was really the green light for everything else to happen.
Oh, well, we saw in the picture-in-picture there, they went for a dive bot lane, and LWX got a kill onto Jackie Love. So despite all of this moving in here, despite my movements saying that there wasn't going to be any action early, we are seeing plenty of action. 5 kills in 7 minutes is a lot more than we're anticipating usually coming out of this game, or even these series.
I have to say, I think that's a good look from Top Esports, though. When they have looked good this year, it has been when they've had a really fine grasp of what they want to do on the early game. A lot of that is Tien getting involved very early on these early game picks, like a Vi. Leeson, you have, what name you really? Going back into the replay of what happened in this bot side, it's just a well-timed dive. Looks like the juggling must have been pretty close run thing. The Ignite comes through, so the knock-up sadly doesn't. Tower shot's not quite enough to finish off Bonnie.
I love how we got live in the bottom left, picture-in-picture, and then a replay in the bottom right picture.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. I don't know why. I just enjoy the consistency of it. But left means live.
You
right
need
means
not
replay.
to look at the minimap.
L for left and L for live, R for right, and R for replay.
I thought you were going to L for LWX. Like, that's a bit harsh. I thought we died the first
no,
time.
because LWX got a W. It's the second letter. Oh my god, it's all connected.
Wow, crazy. So when he's having a good game, he's just WX. When he loses, he's just LX. Makes so much sense now.
Yeah, I'm just getting way too deep into my own theories of different things, but
it's been a long day, Ashin.
It's been a long day. It's been a fun day though. We got Uzi coming back up some bangers. Yeah, we got the cast for first time in this split. Last time we casted LPL together was Spring Split, I believe. So
yeah, in regular season even. We've been saving it up for an opportune moment. We've got the Uzi comeback. We've got this battle of previous international title holders across the board. It's great.
Getting through the season. Always fun to have. The the good. What was this? I don't know where I'm going with this one here. I was gonna say
I'm just
a good
waiting to see where this
old.
goes, Asheen.
I was gonna say
I'm
a
not
good
waiting at all.
old casting partner. I was gonna say a good old casting partnership going, and then I realized we haven't actually been casting that long together. We will see Jackie Love just sail himself over despite a flash ultimate there from Chocho.
Isn't it great when the players on screen bail you out of just like a completely dead-end tangent because you're sort of like,
Thank you, FPX.
we had all of this stuff. Nothing happens for like the next minute. We are going to have first Dragon going over to top Esports and then the Herald as well. Bonnie looking to get something done. Potentially in this mid lane. You do have stun off. Sadly not stacked up for Kado. Have to wait a little bit longer. Potentially be able to drop a Tibbers down here, but Rookie, he's wise to it. And Bonnie hasn't really hit the game-changing moment for Kha'Zix. I know there has been some discussion between various people on their opinions of what you should build first on Kha'Zix. In pro play, I am a huge fan of Umbral Glaive. This item has forever been just such a thorn in the side of teams trying to control around objectives. We had the range support matchup, meta rather. We had like Ashe and Caitlyn and Varus building towards it as well. The fact that Kha'Zix can build the Umbral Glaive and starve our vision, because that's the first item built in now, and then also not really drop damage for it is incredibly important when you have so many engaged threats. Sion, engaged threat. Annie, engaged threat. Rakan, engaged threat. Removing some vision for them. It reminds me a bit, tell you what, of last year RNG, where they just play around Fog of War so well. It enables that playstyle, which the LPL has specialized in.
Specialized play, Wayward just going to pop himself over to the brush. He was being pincered upon by Xiaolahu and Bonnie, but not to be taken out for the moment. And it's a decent start here for Wayward in this top side. Despite getting ganked upon him, he will still have a little bit of a CS lead and should be able to stop.
You had best emote that, Wayward. You had best emote that.
He's going to wait till he knows that Xiaolahu is still here. Then he can emote it. But for the moment, it's definitely going to hold it off just for the time being. Wayward just trying to use all his mana for the moment to make sure he get it. He really wants that move. He just wants this played so badly, and he will get it and get out with his life as well. So with the tank build going towards that Bounty Cinder, he seems to be doing just fine.
Rookie walking in to the stun, just about available. There we go.
Nice, this guy of the week though, turns it straight back in on top of the Kha'Zix. Bonnie goes down, the Wild Growth comes out onto Rookie. Chocho trying to see if he can come in here to make this one turn around for the side of FPX. A TP going to be committed here as the Sion finds himself in this fight, but Wayward's already around. Jackie Love getting some free hits here onto the Sion. He's not going to be able to take him down quickly, but they've got CC and they've got everybody else focusing him. Nicely done there by Top Esports. They take a kill 2-1 in their favor, and still a minute till Dragon.
And that starts with the top Esports member walking into FPX's jungle, but knew the spacing he had with his teammates. That's a lot of gold onto some very important people. Syndra, very snowbally, gets to the point where he gives too much gold, especially those Dark Seal stacks as well. They're going to reach to be a point where they can really start one-shotting the opposition. FPX just a little too overeager, trying to finish off that first kill.
Little overeager, and we're not done just yet because we're gonna have another fight around there in a couple of seconds. As Rookie was the one to pick up a little POV here. Rookie just trying to make sure he could catch out everybody, and it's a great scatter of the week that kind of sets this whole thing up.
He does, and he walks back knowing that he can get out of isolation range of the Kha'Zix, despite the fact that FPX really do just commit to the play. He knows he's safe. He has his support behind him. It's the Enchanter. You have the Wild Growth. Re-engages into the fight, knowing that there's nothing which can threaten him after this point. And Rookie doing really well at knowing where he is in regards to his teammates.
Yeah, where he is and where he can stand. You can see him there constantly looking to try and edge back in on top of this fight, making sure he was always within range to throw out a sphere, maybe make a scatter of the week land for his team to change the tide of the fight. And it did just that. 2-0 and 2 onto Rookie now. And this is what I was talking about. Rookie, again, such high expectations of this guy in general, but he was having a little bit of a lackluster spring. Didn't look that great in terms of the first series or two for summer. The last series or so, and even in this one now, he's really been stepping up, coming back to vintage Rookie that we all know and love and have been waiting to see kind of, go back to the international stage again.
And he's had a couple of series where he's had one great game, and maybe one poor one to even it out, but I think Munch put it really well when we were casting one of their last series. It just hits that much harder when Rookie is performing badly because we just know him to be that good and he's so important to his team. Top Esports, they win mainly through exemplary performances of their teammates rather than some superb macro move. Not to say that they can't do both on occasion, but it really is the individual performance. As you see right now, he's absolutely chunking out the damage. Bonnie, despite him being a champion that really wants to control vision control, needs to be very careful of the burst combo from this Syndra and the Vi.
Well, FPX though muscle the way into this bot or to this dragon pit from the top side, but does mean they are losing priority in this bot lane. The thing is, JackeyLove's been farming up. He's going to go back, pick up himself up a Triforce, and be very happy with that spike. So now Wayward going for it again. This time around, though, recognizes he might actually get caught out if he goes in for that particular trade. So not going to get the Demolish proc off as Wayward now. It's clearing out vision, trying to see if he can be another bit of a nuisance. And with the new shortened down time on those sweepers, you're not going to get the 2 wards. So actually a successful denial of vision denial from Xiaolahu.
And that's really important. Again, we talked about how many engaged threats there are in FPX. If you don't have the vision control to come off the Fog of War, though, and top Esports are ready and waiting for you, that engage looks very, very different. Particularly when you have so much gold onto the carries and the burst combo of top Esports, you can't really afford to overlook that. First turret goes down in this bot side to top Esports. It goes to JackeyLove, and despite him having some awkward moments on the champion, you know how close to the Razor's Edge he plays, and with so much gold in pocket as well from that tower, from the kills and the assists, JackeyLove is going to become a threat very quickly. Tien, you're a bit far from your teammates there. Be careful.
Have to be a little bit worried about the fact that he doesn't see where Bonnie or Care are, but right now he doesn't seem to be too bothered by it for the moment. With that Black Cleaver finished up, he is on a fairly decent power spike for Levi, and again, just so difficult to walk into this river, even with vision and the idea that you can go for burst when you think of all the different health items that are available here for the side of top Esports, including the Lulu with her shielding and her ultimate. It just makes that burst potential from Bonnie and Care just that's so much harder to actually realize.
Oh, yeah, and you know, you are now significantly far down in gold, 3,500 to the advantage of top Esports. You have the side lanes being blown out for top Esports too. This is the point where occasionally top Esports will fall apart, though. Going into kind of the mid game now, and despite the fact that they are ahead in gold, you've taken down the first turret, you've moved your bot lane to mid lane, you need to start finding your next steps around the map. Herald is going to go over to the side of FPX, and that'll be a chance for them to get themselves some control back on one area of the map. Top Esports, where is your next play coming in? You have all your ultimates, you have pretty much all of your summoners available too. In fact, all of them. Smite doesn't really count.
Yeah, Smite we don't count as a combat summoner, although it is technically one.
It's really important if we get spell shields, because you can smite away the spell shield
true.
as you're flying towards someone with your vial. That can be very important, because Edge of Night tends to come in from the Kha'Zix at some point.
Well, Care now needs to be careful. Just realizing that he could potentially get bursted out here. Rookie gonna clear in this wave and move himself back down towards the river. Everyone's just kind of calming down. We had an explosive start to this game, 6-3 in kills, and it actually kind of ballooned into a 4,500 gold lead, or excuse me, 3,500 gold lead for top Esports. And passively, we've just kind of been picking up these small little increments of advantages. You can see it in top lane, you can see it in mid lane, even in bot lane. There's all these little CS leads that have kind of accrued themselves throughout the map.
And that also includes some of those plates going over. Top Esports, the early game was largely characterized by pushing lanes, and then Tien also battle warding in the jungle, spotting out Bonnie and making plays where he sees fit. So some plates went over from that. However, we're past the early laning phase. We're into the mid game now. Lane assignments are starting to change. Rookie has a teleport, but that means he's not currently in this mid lane to help someone like Tien when he's going for these kind of missions. He's not there to be that long-range CC. Top Esports, what are you doing right now? Because you were playing very heavily around Rookie and Tien. Rookie's currently not at the play.
There's no Rift Herald either. That was secured by the side of FPX, so surely you're going to be on the side of the 2019 World Champions. And again, just kind of figuring out where they want to try and make this move right now. Xiaolahu is actually kind of coming out of these trades a little bit more on top with the passive Sunfire Cape damage. We know just how well it can put out the work, as we saw in our last series. As we see now, Chocho doesn't actually lose his ultimate there. The quickness still available, as is the Featherstorm from LWX. So just the Wild Growth use and the Lightning Crash, excuse me, from JackeyLove and Mark. So right now, top Esports getting a little bit antsy to try and make something happen. It's just not quite coming together.
And that's what I'm a little bit worried about. Again, the early game was fine from top Esports. It's just trying to accelerate the pace of the game while you have your item spikes. You have a very strong Syndra, but the Syndra's not comboing up with anyone. And you can see that while this is happening, JackeyLove kind of left out in the lurch a little bit in mid lane, caught out. Herald is going to be summoned here. Interested to see if top Esports commit anything to a defense. As it stands, FPX looking to just get that charge down, but they're pretty far away from the Herald.
Yeah, pretty far away from it. There's going to be a belly bop into Xiaolahu, who has to go straight into his ultimate to make sure he doesn't get brought
off vision
back into it. That is off vision. Now it's on vision. Care has been caught out as Tien be the target for the moment. Nobody going down. The health bars on FPX, though, very much hindered from that last skirmish. 2 flashes burnt here by the side of Top Esports. Gets them a health bar lead, but doesn't really get them anything else. While that's happening, though, Rookie was in top side, and he's going to get a free tower for that because he did not pull the trigger.
And one of the reasons Top Esports haven't been making as many proactive plays is because Rookie isn't there, and he's the long-range CC, which can combo up with Tien. Does, however, open up the map on that top side as well now. Two outer turrets down on side lanes in the favor of Top Esports. Rookie's going to recall now. Interested to see where his next lane position is. Where's he going to push in the rest of the map? We've got a dragon spawning in a minute. That will be Soul Point for Top Esports, setting them up for a Soul later into the game. You've got to imagine that FPX need to be very careful about how they approach that. They don't really have the best vision control right now. Chocho is looking to put down some vision. You've got the Umbral Glaive off cooldown from Bonnie, and he has a Dust Blade too, so it's not going to be the edge of night for him to help out in his warding mission and keep himself safe. FPX, this is where realistically you want to be trying to get some control.
It's all very tense for the moment. Still though, 3,500 gold is still the lead here for the side of Top Esports as they continue to put pressure on the FPX. And in fairness to FPX, they've been very good at maintaining that goal deficit. Again, it's something that you kind of see some players end up kind of going a little bit too far one way. Speaking of which, Chocho just moving backwards there. The rest of FPX were sitting in the Dragon Pit waiting for someone to go for a care. Had to use the Hextech Rocket Belt to make sure he doesn't go in. There's Tien going in with the ultimate. They're going to jump straight onto Care, burst him out. Tien picks up that kill, but now can the real fight begin? LWX needs to get these feathers down and make some work happen. Rookie blows up the Kazakh, squashes that bug, and the lightning is just ricocheting across all these FPX members. It's going to be a double kill here for Jackie Love, and that is 3 unanswered kills, actually 4 unanswered kills in favor of the side of Top Esports. They don't even have to go for the Dragon, they go straight for the Baron.
Exactly, it is the exact right time in the game to pick this kind of fight. It's Act 2 of the LPL, Baron spawns, Baron dies. And FPX, this was their time to try and establish something in this bot side river, but Rookie comes back to this area of the map. When they were playing around the mid lane, Rookie wasn't there. That was one of the big playmaking tools that Top Esports have wanted to rely on. And despite the fact that Chocho gets a good engage, the knockup from the Wild Growth stops the Scion Q follow-up, and that stops the positioning from FPX afterwards. Top Esports in the broken fights, particularly with Jackie Love stacking up that ultimate, needs to be locked down. The interrupts and stuff like that Scion Q really turn that fight in favor of Top Esports.
Absolutely. Dragon's still up and available. Baron does mean that the gold is here. As we can see, Care now jumping up to Wayward. Bonnie is off to the side. Bonnie was looking for Wayward here, but it's a full tank Gragas, and you can see you do not win that fight. Actually, Wayward goes straight back over and says, you know what? No, I'm not done with this 1v3. I decide when we finish off this fight. And I mean, FPX, they were doing well for so long, but that one fight into the Baron, now into the Dragon Soul, it just makes it so difficult for them to really do anything in this game. And an Ocean Soul with a Zeri on your team? Good luck burning through her health bar.
It is disastrous to lose that fight at the point they did. It's the earliest possible Baron. It's going to blow open the map. You can see that the gold power play, it's not huge right now, just 1,000, but it will continue to allow Top Esports to push in and control the map.
Here we go. They're going to jump straight in on the Chocho, try and burst him out before anything else can happen. Does get the quickness, the battle dance off, but that's all in defense. Does get knocked back here by the Scatter the Weak. Shallow, who now seeing if he can pank up, but again, he has no magic resistance really to speak of. He's just not going to be able to stand in front of this absolute torrent of power that's coming out here from Top Esports. And this is what we wanted to see. This is exactly the kind of game we wanted to see from Top Esports. It's been domination. They've never looked out of control so far this game.
It's been a really good performance from Top Esports. Good pick plays between Tien and Rookie. Rookie doing well very early into the game. And of course, this is helped by the fact that you've got that priority pick jungler in that Vi. It made itself through the draft. But this is what we want to see out of Top Esports. Jackie Love skating over the wall. Doesn't find anything right now, but FPX, they are quickly running out of options.
Yeah, they need to find something. They need a flash Tibbers into Bonnie catching out the Zeri. But even with a cleanse, that's a very big risk to take, and not having the Zhonya's any way, shape, or form close for Care means he's going to be putting himself in such a hard position to try and continue the fight afterwards to get those rotational spells back. That's going to be the final outer turret going down. That is 6 turrets to none right now, and apart from literally a one Rift Herald or a couple of kills, this is a near perfect game coming out from Top Esports. Similar to Weibo, they just know how to turn it on when they need to.
Of course. FPX, a lot of their composition was angled around starving out vision, getting engages out of Fog of War. Top Esports, every time they have seen FPX going towards their Fog of War, towards their own jungle, they've been there ready for them. It's been someone like TES or Rookie immediately holding Bonnie to account, Scatter the Weeks coming out from Fog of War in their own side of things. I think that's been actually a very good response to what FPX need to do with this team composition.
We'll wait a little bit more. We do have the residual red buff now. Residual red buffs and blue buffs now on the Rift. Wait to see.
They're not quite Ivern.
Yeah, no, you don't need an Ivern anymore. Everybody's an Ivern, like you mentioned earlier. But TES now going to go over. Probably pick that one up for himself. No problem whatsoever. And this is the problem, or not the problem. This is the benefit, I suppose, of having that, kind of like new setup, is that junglers like the Kazakhs and the Wukong and the Vi benefit so heavily from having that red buff that now you don't have to make a choice about whether or not you give it to your AD carry, because you can both get it.
Absolutely, it gives you so much combat power. So many of these early skirmish junglers make full use of that. You're correct in saying that one. Now, Top Esports, they return back to this mid lane. JackeyLove standing close to the wall, make sure that he's not in a position to get caught out. And FPX, they don't have good engage options right now. They're getting shoved in across the map. Chotro has been spotted as well. And you've only got so many sweepers, only got so much vision control.
Yeah, and well, Cleanse and Flash will get burnt by JackeyLove, but fortunately for the side of FPX, there's nothing else really for them to gain from this one here. And JackeyLove just kind of keeps pushing forward, recognizing no one can step to him. While this is happening, Rookie is just playing PvE. Rookie has been split pushing this entire game. There's the explosive cast to come down, and LWX is dead. It's going to be the L capitalized in his name for this particular game. And this is going to be the bot lane inhibitor broken open. This could be the game, honestly, right now. They could just keep pushing in. Who's going to stop them?
Feels like it's going to end with a whimper, not a bang. Top Esports going towards the enemy champions, though.
They are moving in. Here we go. Jumping in there. We're trying to get on top of Cairn. He is just deleted. A stopwatch used to stop Shellahu from getting anything else out of that one on top of the Vi. They're going to jump straight in onto these Nexus turrets. I will say they haven't built the game just yet. It is still only 25.5 minutes into the game, but again, like I said earlier, who is going to stop them? JackeyLove is too damn big. A flash from Shellahu to keep him alive. Some battle dances, some nice little moves. LWX is here. Can he defend it? That is the question. It's going to be difficult, but the answer is already decided. It is a no coming out here from FPX. Top Esports will be able to pick themselves up the win, and that is just a dominant showing here from Top Esports.
They make it look solo counterplay as well. Typically, when we've seen that composition come out of FPX and other teams in the LPL, it feels like if they go into the mid game in any semblance of being even, it's very hard to play against that amount of engage. When